Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Secret Base figure preview video. Now before we begin, I do have to say a massive thank you as always to Ryan Kirkwood. He went out in person and snapped these gorgeous high-res pics. Show Ryan some love in the comments below, because without him this series literally wouldn't be possible. Now if you are looking to pre-order your very own Electro, he is up right now with toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and a points-based reward system. Now this one was a bit of a shock for me. Now yes, they did do a teaser image, but they have done that with a lot of other figures that never actually ended up being made. This also brings us closer to completing all of the villains that were seen in No Way Home. I do have my fingers and toes crossed that we do get at the very least a Sandman diorama base, plus a lizard at some point down the line. But for now, yeah, I'm super excited to be getting Electro. Now he doesn't come with a ton of stuff. You do get some interchangeable hands, a ton of lightning effects, and a very cool magnetic crest piece. Now, I thought initially based off the promo pics that this was going to be a swap out head sculpt, but here at Secret Base they have it on display separately to the sculpt. Now, I don't know how this is going to connect, whether it's going to be with magnets or with friction. I am hoping it's the former, because I don't want to have to wedge this onto the sculpt. Although I am seeing some little handle pieces on the side that kind of lead me to believe that yes, they are going to have you wedge this on his face. We will have to wait and see though when this guy eventually drops. Now I do like the effect overall. It's translucent yellow plastic, which is exactly what I was expecting. Now the display base is relatively straightforward. Electro on the front and an image of him on the top of the base. Plus, it is yellow to match the color scheme of his new lightning. Now, he is wearing what appears to be some unbranded Timberlands. I think this is the first time we've ever seen work boots from Hot Toys, but they look really good. There is a little bit of texture on the surface, there's some dirt and grime and weathering, and the laces do look very realistic, even though they are fully sculpted in. Now, something I noticed when looking at his pants is that they do look eerily similar to the Drifter Bruce Wayne pants. So if you out there are considering making yourself a custom Robert Pattinson Drifter Bruce Wayne, these pants will be perfect. They have the black patches in pretty much the exact spot that they're supposed to be. I know, not something that you're probably used to hearing from a preview video, but it was something that was playing on my mind. Now the pants are simply construction worker pants. They are super simple and they do look completely unweathered. He also has the various electronic harness pieces strapped onto his legs. Now I am curious how this is going to impact articulation, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't impact it a bunch. Those look to be wire hoses, so you might be able to get some posability out of them, and that means they should get out of the way when you try and bend the legs. I am hoping to see just a little bit of weathering on the pants when this guy eventually releases though, because they do look pretty much brand new. Now those conduit wire pieces that extend all the way up to the arc reactor are also yellow, which match perfectly with the lightning effects that we discussed earlier. I also like the design of the belt. The best part for me about now seeing this figure is that we do get to see a ton more of the outfit. Now the scenes that we saw Electro wearing this in were shot at night. They were dark, dimly lit, and we didn't really get to see the entire costume from head to toe. That is one of the main reasons why I actually got into Hot Toys. I love the idea of having a shrunk down version of the prop suit, so that we do get to see all of the details that we missed out on screen. He was a relatively fast moving character, he was zipping around using the electricity, and as I said, the shots were done at night. Now that we can see it though, yeah, I really like the way this outfit looks. It's very utilitarian, it's not super flashy, it's simply made to get the job done. He also has a ton more yellow on his upper torso with the clips around the front, and also a couple more hoses. They extend around to the back, and I wouldn't be surprised if somehow they connect up to the arc reactor, which is an LED light-up piece, so yes, you can have it illuminated. I would love to have seen them have some kind of magnetic power transition so you could have the display base plugged in, and then power would travel up the flight pole and then magnetically transfer into the body. Hot Toys, it's 2022, and by the time this guy comes out, it's very likely going to be at least 2023. So why not experiment with some new technology? We have seen extremely heavy figures being held up on their flight poles with magnets, so we know it definitely can be done. It's just a matter of Hot Toys giving it a go. Waist clamps can only get you so far. We want to have our figures lit up all the time, so experimenting here and there and trying out new things to make that happen would be a welcomed change. Now, the arc reactor does have a lightning effect pegged in over the top of it. In my display, I'm going to have him all out with all of the lightning effects on. I love the way they look. They are a translucent yellow plastic, but towards the center there are some white highlights to show that yes, they do look like they are properly lit up, and towards the edges they fade into a more translucent plastic. I have no complaints with how they look. Now, I know some people really don't like effect pieces, and I totally understand. You can absolutely omit them. But seeing as this is Electro, I think this is one of those situations where the effects are required. I am curious to see what he looks like without all of the lightning pieces on, but I do think they give him a ton of presence. And the best part is, if you do like these effect pieces, there are a lot of them. There are ones that go in the front of him, there are some that go in the back of him, there are some that go around his gauntlet pieces and they extend up towards his bicep. So you can have this guy pretty much fully powered up. Now, we do for a moment have to talk about the body they've gone with. I'm pretty sure we've seen this body before. It's just a stock run-of-the-mill regular 1/6 scale body. Now, that means you do have exposed joints at the elbows. We've seen this before with Wolverine, with Bane, and most recently with Peacemaker. Now, the best part about Electro is he does have the straps that you can slide down to cover up that elbow joint, but if you have them pulled up, then yes, there's no two ways about it. They are entirely visible. Now, it's going to be down to personal preference to decide whether or not this is a deal breaker for you. For me, it isn't. I'm going to have his arms bent, or I'm just going to move those straps down and hide those joints entirely. I would have loved to have seen some seamless arms, don't get me wrong, but seeing as though there are various straps and parts and pieces over the top of them, when you move them around, the friction would have very likely rubbed away the paint that was on the surface of the seamless arms. Now, moving on to the head sculpt, this looks incredible. Hot Toys and JC Hong, y'all have outdone yourselves once again. Now, bear in mind, this is a prototype, so we don't exactly know what the final product is going to look like as of yet, but if it turns out anywhere near close to this, I think we're in for a treat. The likeness is on point from pretty much every angle. That is Jamie Foxx. I love the hair, I love the goatee, and I love the skin texture. It also looks like they have finally nailed an open mouth expression. It doesn't look like the teeth are right up against his lips. There is actually a perceivable gap there. Now, whether or not that gap survives the molding process and this guy actually ends up looking something like Ant-Man, well, we'll have to wait and see. I have my fingers crossed that it doesn't. I'm also very curious to see if this head sculpt can be popped on the first Electro body. I also want to see what that head sculpt looks like on this body. Don't worry, when this guy comes out, we will be doing some head swaps and comparisons, because it's not often that we get two completely different looks for a character that's still played by the same actor but in different universes. It's a weird situation. Either way, I'm all for it. At the end of the day, I love the way this guy looks. As I said earlier on, it's a very simple utilitarian costume, but it fits the bill perfectly. Plus, when you add that lightning crown onto his face, yeah, this guy is going to pop in the collection. I'm just hoping that that doesn't scuff up this gorgeous head sculpt, because that would be a darn shame. I mean, literally, just look at how good this head sculpt is. Now, I pre-ordered mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and a points-based reward system. While you're down there, check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.